Go ahead.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Minion Radio Show, the hottest hour of sports and other things in the community. Going around right now, it's D to the J with the roll away. And I got to tell y'all, I'm hot today. I'm not talking about hot like, having too much to drink hot. I'm talking about I'm a little irritated, so y'all got to bear with me. The Sports Minion read a story earlier today that really, I guess, got my goat, kind of, I could say. I do want to cover a couple of housekeeping things before we get into that, but I just wanted to give a little bit to whet the appetite. We've got some things coming up. June 17th through August 23rd is the Tiger Academy of Martial Arts Summer Camp, and that is from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., and we're looking at the ages are 5 to 13 years of age. Prices include one field trip and field trips and one karate class a day. For more information on pricing and everything about the summer camp, you can call Tiger Academy of Martial Arts at 757-488-3882. Again, that's 757-488-3882 for prices and details on the Tiger Academy of Martial Arts Summer Camp. Also, July 14th is coming up quick because the summer is flying by, is the launch of the Kelly's Choice Cares Network Mixer. Be sure to bring your business cards and network with some great people and a great group to find out more about what Kelly's Choice Cares is and does, and we want to get people involved. We want to get people with disabilities involved, and we want to make sure that they are heard, and we want to make Kelly's Choice Cares the biggest thing on the planet. I mean, it's already big, guys, but I got to tell you right now, I believe in this organization. I've been with this organization for over a year now, and every moment that I'm with them, God continues to bless us and bless me as well. So it is going to be a wonderful thing. Again, that is going to be July 14th from 4 to 7. That is at 6212 Jefferson Avenue for the Kelly's Choice Cares launch, as well as the Network Mixer to get in and meet some great people. And you know what? You're going to find out a lot of things that you may not have. It's going to be July 14th from 4 to 7 that you may not know. So we want to make sure that everything goes well. Sorry for the feedback there. So come out and support a great group and make sure that everything goes well, and give us your support, because people like you make this happen, and the more people we have, the more things we can do and the more people we can reach. So please come out to the Kelly's Choice Cares Launch and Network Mixer. Again, that's going to be July 14th from 4 to 7 at 6212 Jefferson Avenue in Newport News. So come out and check us out. Again, now we've got the big launch here, November 16th, the Kelly's Choice Caregivers Ball and Gala. Be ready for that one. Get your formal attire ready. Get your suits and your blazers and your vest and your hair done and your nails polished and all of that stuff. We want to make sure that everybody tunes in and listens well. We're going to be nominating the caregivers across the area, and make sure that you are out in support of that as well. That is going to be November 16th. That is going to be at 6801 Bridgeway Drive in Suffolk, Virginia, 23435. And it's going to go from 4 to 7, possibly 8 o'clock. We want to make sure to give that range in there, because these people that do caregiving and 24-hour care and really make sure that the disabled community gets the care they need. They need to be recognized, and they will be recognized on that day. So it's going to be a great day. I'll be speaking and doing a breaking montage and breaking through barriers, and that's going to be a great day. So come out and support us and check us out. Again, and all of this supports Kelly's Choice Cares. What a wonderful organization this is, and the wonderful people. And without them, this show wouldn't be happening right now. So we are live on Facebook Live and www.letgoradio.net. If you'd like to call in and talk to the Sports Minion, you are able to do so at 757-774-7552. And here we go. Let's get into sports real quick. All right, got a couple of reports to hand out, so to speak. Want to talk a little bit about Tyreek Hill Tyreek Hill actually, let's see, the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill will meet with NFL investigators this week, sources told Yahoo Sports. After Shepard's reports, the meeting will take place Wednesday in Kansas City. The Chiefs suspended Hill from all team-related activities in April as a result of an ongoing child abuse investigation. But prosecutors confirmed earlier in June that they are no longer working the case. While there's no active criminal probe, Hill and his fiancée Crystal are still part of an ongoing case with the Kansas City Department for Children and Families. Commissioner Roger Goodell recently said the NFL would not interfere until the investigation has closed. With the potential ruling on the horizon, the receiver is expected to return to the Chiefs for training camp in July. However, the league has disciplined players in the past, even when they're not charged criminally. Hill's son reportedly suffered a broken arm and was removed from the custody of his parents. The wideout has denied being involved in any abuse. All right, so just to talk about this just for a second, I don't want to harp on this too long. Hi, and welcome to the Sports Minion Radio Show. For those of you who are joining in, I appreciate you coming in right now. Tyreek Hill, you know what? If they find that he didn't do anything and he wasn't part of this, let him play. Bottom line, you got to figure out if the man says he didn't do it and they find out he didn't do it. This is one of those instances where you need to let things go, because I don't think the NFL should punish someone if they're not found guilty of any charges. If nothing happened and this was not not an issue and he was found not guilty, everything should be worked out. I think he should be able to play, and I think the parents should be able to have custody of their son. Now, if he did, this is on him, and he deserves to pay for what he did. You don't abuse a child. Bottom line, that don't happen. You abuse a child, and it's your fault. You're gonna do some prison time, and when they find you in prison, something might happen. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep that one clean. Y'all need to stop hitting these kids. This don't happen. The sportsmen, you don't like it. I don't like abuse to anybody, let alone women and children. So we're gonna move on from that. Just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Do have some good news actually for the Redskins. We got an actual story with Alex Smith. 7 months after suffering a gruesome leg injury, Alex Smith opened up for the first time about recovery and the hardships that he faced. The Washington Redskins quarterback will shred the external fixator on his right leg in 4 to 6 weeks, and he can begin jogging. This thing is going to save my leg and save my bone, allow me to heal and walk again, to help me play football again, Alex Smith told Fox's 5 DC. Smith said he plans to play in the NFL again, but acknowledged he must conquer some more steps first before he gets there. In the last 3 months, have definitely been life-changing. I've been able to start driving. I can work out. I'm off crutches, the quarterback said. The first 4 months were really hard, both physically and mentally, just to be in a wheelchair for as long as I was. I want to stop right there, and I just want to talk about something real quick. One of the reasons that I like this article, and Alex goes on to talk about, for 4 months he was in a wheelchair with a severely broken leg. There are temporary disabilities that people suffer from. There are temporary things that people suffer from. And they realize the hardships. But see, here's the thing. With a broken leg or a broken bone, eventually that broken bone or leg is going to heal. Okay? And when that happens, eventually you're going to be able to get back in the saddle again, so to speak. So if you look at that and you say, okay, oh well, he was in a chair for 4 months, that is rough, okay? But coming into a disability and being disabled permanently to where you're confined to a chair and you can't get out and you don't have the option to get up and let things be back to the normalcy, that's where it gets different. So, you know, Alex Smith wants to play football again. He wants to, you know, get back in the game, which is great. You know, I hope to see him do that. You know, the recovery itself from the leg injury he had was very significant. It's going to take time, and you've got to be able to put, you know where your limitations are, know where your boundaries are. You know, we're praying for him, Alex. I hope it happens. I hope you get back on the field again soon. Keep working, keep training. I do want to just comment real quick, kind of away from the sports world just for a second. Congratulations to Taylor Harris, I believe it is. She actually was walking, and I saw her on Facebook the other day walking in that walker, man. She was moving across that floor. And I got to tell you right now, she honestly weren't just moving. That girl was almost running. My eyes had trouble keeping up with her. So just, you know, personal triumph in life, as many things as we go through, as many hardships as we go through as a disabled community, as disabled people. When triumph occurs in the disabled world, I like to talk about it. And the fact that Taylor is walking and she's on her walker and moving and her therapy is going well. She is kicking butt and taking names, and she's all out of pencil, so she's kicking butt. And I think I got that right. I hope it was. I know it was Taylor because I saw her on Facebook the other day. I meant to comment, but I watched the video like 10 times. I couldn't stop watching it. I was so happy for her. So that is a triumph in mind that I'm talking about. Being, you know, you've heard me say 1,000 times, you know, the disabled have enough to worry about being disabled, but when you triumph it and when you make it past that hurdle that doctors told you wouldn't get past for so many years, they drill it in your head and tell you can't, and you turn around and you can, that makes people smile and that makes people happy. So congratulations, Taylor. Keep on working, keep on going with it, and keep on walking. I hope to see you running a marathon someday. You can do anything through the power of Christ. Just remember that, because he is the one who strengthens you and gives you that power to continue. So I just wanted to bring that up. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you for joining the Sports Minion Radio Show. Glad to have you in. Thank you for coming in with us. Again, just a slight recap for you, because I know you just came in. I do want to mention this again, and I know I'm getting away from sports a little bit. I'll get back to it in just a minute, guys. Congratulations to Taylor and walking on your walker. You know, I saw you in therapy the other day. You're doing so well. I love you. You're doing wonderful. Keep working. Walking all the way across the room, not just walking, moving. I mean, she was moving. It was left, right. She was going. She was almost road running across there. So, you know, they might have to put a speed limit sign up there, you know, keep it below 35 in the building, but that's okay. We just want to let you know that we're proud of you. We're praying for you. We believe in you, so keep going. And you guys go support Taylor. Go check her out on Facebook. She's an inspirational individual. She's been working so hard. Tony and I both have been praying for her. I know Big Tony was at the CP conference earlier this year, and meeting him was an inspiration in itself. You guys can see the speech on Facebook that he gave about his brother Calvin, and the tattoo that he has on his arm, My Brother's Keeper. Now, I do want to move on just a little bit. We do have some sad news, and I hate to admit this. When you're a top pick in the NFL, the Bengals' top first draft pick will most likely miss the entire 2019 and 2020 season. Cleveland Browns first-round draft pick Jonah Williams underwent left shoulder surgery Tuesday to repair a torn labrum and will likely miss the entire 2019 season, the team announced. Williams suffered an injury a week before minicamp, which began June 11th. We look forward to Jonah being a major contributor in the future, and we know that he won't let this injury deter him from still being an important part of this team, head coach Zach Taylor said in a statement. Now here's the thing. Now we just talked about this, you know, overcoming adversity, and you look in I'm amazed at the medical world, because the medical world has done some great things, and I'm talking about this because my next story is just absolutely incredible. Before I get to the thing that totally fired me up and totally got me hot today as to why I'm so angry, the medical world, you know, it's amazing to me the doctors and the medical profession has really come a long way in shortening the time that football players and baseball players and people are injured and off the field for the length of time that they are. Things that are taking, usually take a year to 2 years. I mean, they're shaving, 6 to 9 months off of recovery time based on the new medical procedures that have come out to get these guys ready and reconditioned. And they're working hard. So I do have to give doctors some credit because they are working hard and they continue. Medical science continues to grow every day. We continue to look at, what medical science has done and the breakthroughs that have come out. Now, with that being said, there has been a breakthrough, and I want to mention this. Thank you to my roommate Marshall for sending me this story. I know Miss Winnie's with us right now. I'm going to put 2 links in the comments down here as I talk about this story. The first one that I'm going to talk about, an unborn baby with spina bifida. They performed a surgery to close the spine of the unborn fetus, and it was successful. Now, let me pull this story up, and let me get the link here as I go through and grab this, and I'm going to put this in the comments right now. So let me do this here as I'm talking to you guys. Sorry for the babbling. I'm trying to get this in here, and let's paste it there. And then, all right, so there is the link to the spina bifida story, and I'm going to read that in just a second, and I'm going to pin this comment to the bar here. All right, so let me read a little bit about this because this is a very long article, but Cleveland Clinic performs its first uteral surgery. Fetus repairs the spina bifida before the baby's birth. Okay, so let me get my little box out of the way here so I can see. The Cleveland Clinic has joined the top hospitals in North America and can now offer in utero surgery. The hospital announced on Wednesday after more than a year of preparations, they have successfully completed Northern Ohio's first ever surgery on a fetus inside the uterus to repair spina bifida. The operation on the fetus in the uterus, I am directing and in charge of the guidance of where we should open the uterus and exposure of the baby, said Dr. Daryl Cass, the director of fetal surgery in the Cleveland Clinic's Fetal Center. Cass and a team of more than a dozen other specialists, including pediatric, goodness gracious, words are hard, DJ, pediatric neurologist, a fetal coronologist, and a pediatric, I can't pronounce that last word, performed the surgery on a nearly 23-week old fetus with the birth defect spina bifida in February. The baby girl was born at nearly 37 weeks on June 3rd. Both mother and child are doing well. In a fetus with spina bifida, the tube that typically protects the lowest part of the spine fails to close, leaving the spinal cord exposed, causing many problems. Spina bifida leads to disabilities in the baby that can cause paralysis in the legs. It can affect their ability to urinate. Cass said a buildup of pressure and fluid and pressure can lead to brain damage. Fetal surgery for a birth defect is currently in operation for parents at about 20 hospitals in North America, becoming clinically accepted in 2011. Prior to 2011, there were only 4 fetal surgery centers in the world. Cass was the director of one of them. Cass has performed more than 160 fetal surgeries since 2002, after 17 years as the co-director of the Texas Children's Fetal Center in Houston. So I do want to say that they go on later in this article to say that there is no cure for spina bifida, but it does help to stop many of the birth defects that are many of the problems later on that are caused with spina bifida. So this is a medical science breakthrough. And the reason I want to talk about this is because when we get something like this, we have to make sure to share this article, because if this gets around and people know about what medical science breakthroughs have done for people with that are wheelchair bound and have been in a wheelchair their entire life, if they get these surgeries and they get them done early, before the child is born, I mean, because they can detect birth defects now pretty early, and they're working in ways to do that more and more. So I do want to say congratulations to Dr. Cass and all of the medical teams. Josh, thank you for joining us on the Sports Minion Radio Show. Please check out the link that I just put in with the first successful spina bifida surgery in the uterus there. The surgery was successful, and the baby is doing well. Mother is doing well. Again, no cure for spina bifida, but it has solved a lot of the problems that spina bifida causes later on. So I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to all of the team members and the people and Dr. Cass at the hospital that has been working on that. Marshall sent me this article. Make sure you guys share this. Make sure that it gets around. I'm going to post this show in the groups that I have. Anybody that's joining right now, be sure that you share this article. I've pinned it to the comments on the side here. If anybody wants to call in and talk about this or ask any questions, you can give me a call, 757-774-7552. We're also live on letgoradio.net right now. Wanted to make sure that you guys knew that. So in being, in continuing to look up, and I as happy as I was about this happening and to see, the medical advancements and the medical breakthroughs of science, this next story literally made me sick. And I have to kind of compose myself, because I wanted to cover this last week, but we covered the handicap parking. And guys, as Miss Winnie said, I am researching that, and I'm going to get back to you in a couple of weeks. I have to get all my ducks in a row before I do that to answer a lot of the questions that were put in. By the way, just want to mention that show as of right now has over 900 views. So I want to thank the people that have shared that have watched that have looked at that have put it in your groups. And if you have questions, please continue to email me. And I do want to cover one question real quick before I get to the story. I have to kind of compose myself on this last story, because I got very offended and very upset at this last story, and I'm not going to cover it quite yet. I got an email from Laura of Kansas City, Missouri, and she actually watched last week's show, and this is what she said. She said, I suffer from cerebral palsy. I am 27 years old, and I have a handicap van. I have noticed that a lot of people that park in handicap parking spots will park in the blue where my ramp is supposed to go down, and I cannot get out, which means I have to find another parking spot or transfer from my chair back to my power seat, back out to find another spot. Is there anything that we can do as disabled people to stop this from happening? Not just handicap parking spots, but prevent cars from parking in the blue area that is zoned out for people to get out of their vehicles who are disabled. Let me cover this really quickly, and I want to go over just a couple of things that are mentioned. What I normally do, hey Carl, thank you for joining the Sports Minion Radio Show. Appreciate it. What I normally do, I carry an orange road cone in my trunk, and the road cone usually I will sit it if there's not a van accessible parking spot. I will take the cone and I will sit the cone beside the parking spot that I'm in once my ramp goes down, because that's how much space I will need to get out of my vehicle. Now, this is not a stoppage from people parking in the blue part of the handicap parking spot, but it is a deterrent. That is also something I can research when I research next week about the IDs and the parking placards and all of that. I'm still doing a lot of research on that. So, Laura, I will get back to you from Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you for emailing the Sports Minion. We appreciate that. We care about what you think and what you feel. We want to make sure to get your opinion and your email out there. So I will research that. But as of right now, that is what I know. The road cone may happen. Again, if you have somebody with you, you can have them sit that out, or you can actually sit that out once you get out of your van and you realize how much space you need to put the ramp down. So I hope that answers that question, and we can continue to make this this problem better for people all over the world, because this happens entirely too much, and I believe that people should respect others and not park in the blue, because it irritates me just as bad as this next story that I'm going to read. All right, so it's time. Let me pull this up. I'm also going to put this story in the comments, and this one I talked about with Miss Winnie before I got on the air. Lord Jesus help me, because I'm going to tell you right now, this one fired me up. All right, let me go ahead and put the link first. This is a story about a young boy with autism, and this child was given an award for being most annoying. Now, I am going to read a lot of this. I'm not going to read the entire article because, again, I got very emotional when I read it. Let me go ahead and put this in. All right, so there is the article right there. I'm going to pin this as well so that we can see what has been going on. Okay, so for those of you joining us, thank you for joining us with the Sports Minion Radio Show. I appreciate it. Continue to comment, and we will get with you as soon as we can. All right, so basically, this was, let me get the article here. All right, let me move my little box out of the way. I apologize, guys. Father blindsided after son with autism is given most annoying award in school. A school in Gary, Indiana has issued a public apology after one of its teachers presented a trophy for most annoying male to an 11-year-old fifth grader with autism. Rick Caston told the Times of the Northwest Indianian that he was in shock when his son was given the award after the annual end-of-the-year luncheon on May 23rd in front of an audience of parents, students, and faculty from the boys' school, Bailey Preparatory Academy. Caston said he tried to let the incident slide, but when he intentionally left the trophy on the table upon leaving the event at the Golden Corral in Maryville, Indiana, the boy's special education teacher stopped him. She reminded him to take the prize home and attempted to play it off as a joke. But when Caston showed the award to his wife, the parents began connecting the dots and the severity of the gesture hit home. We were blindsided. We just weren't expecting it, Caston told the Northwestern Indianian. He said that throughout the school year, teachers had been calling the couple with concerns about their son's conduct because of his autism. The boy is nonverbal, his dad said, and he tends to rock back and forth and become emotional. But the parents expected more appropriate behavior from the special education professionals. They called me all the time if he didn't want to work. He would cry and have a breakdown, said Caston. A special needs education teacher should know how to deal with handling these things. As a principal or teacher, you should never let this happen to any student. So Caston and his wife complained to the Bailey Preparatory School administrators, who arranged for them to meet with the Gary Community School Corporation Emergency Manager Peter Morcus. They discussed a 2-week suspension and even termination as possible consequences for the teacher, according to the Times. Let's see. Morcus also issued a statement on Monday that read, in part, an apology was extended on behalf of the district to the family, and disciplinary action was taken against personnel involved. We acknowledge the potential impact that an experience like this could have on a child, on a child's mental well-being and self-esteem, and overall level of comfortability in a learning environment going forward. I'm going to stop right there for a minute because I want to comment on this. A statement like that to me means this: you have no idea what you have done to this child. You have no earthly idea what you have done to this child. A 5th grader, an 11-year-old 5th grader. You have destroyed this child. As a school, as an administrator, as a person with a heart and a brain, good Lord, this should have been prevented well before it started. And I'm going to tell you right now, this makes me sick. I have a wife with a nephew with autism who is 10 years old and brilliant. I will tell you right now, if anything ever happened to her nephew like this, there's not a prison cell that could hold me after something like this happened. This happens too much. This happens everywhere. Public apologies don't do jack. Because nowhere in this article did I hear it read, we apologized to the young man who was given the award. We are talking about a person's livelihood. We are talking about the mental stability for the rest of his life. And people with autism have mental stability. Let me explain something. Autistic children remember everything. They don't forget. That is one of the features of having autism. Their memories are like genetically enhanced sponges. And for the rest of his life, this child is going to be tormented because a school was stupid enough to let this happen. A special education individual may not know the full functionality of autism. I get that. I understand that. They may not know how to handle every situation, but they darn sure know to give a child a most annoying male award. Really? Really? You're going to tell me that in Indiana, this school was allowed to present this? And since then, if you read the rest of the article, the child moved from the neighborhood, the family moved from the neighborhood, pulled him out of that school, and put him into another school. Do you know what that does to an autistic child? How, in your right mind, can a world be so closed-minded to give a child an award? That is a what's the word I'm looking for? That is a demeaning, number one, to be able to sit there and then go and the parent tried to let it go. The parent tried to let it go, left the award on the table, meaning I don't want it. But a special education teacher is going to come and remind him to take it home. This next 34 minutes is going to get real intense, folks, so y'all better be ready. I can't say the things on the air I want to say. Lord Jesus. Ooh. I want to commend the father and the mother for talking about this and getting this article out here, because not only should the representatives and the people involved in this be fired, but the principal and the school board needs to look at the type of things that are being going on and thrown together, because that's not right. Now, I want to bring Miss Winnie in on this. If I know she's with me, and I have to ask again. I've posted the article in the comments here. How, as a society, does only one, I don't feel that one person should jump up. I don't feel like the father of the child should just jump up. I feel like everybody in that school should have said, what in the world is going on here? This child is 11 years old. He hasn't even begun to go through some of the things in life he's going to go through. How does the school, number one, allow this to happen and present an award for most annoying male? Miss Winnie, what is your take on this? I just want to, I'm going to let you speak for a minute because I'm about to punch the computer screen. I'm sorry. Oh.
It's all right. I do understand how you feel about that. Being in the disabled community and having cerebral palsy yourself, and knowing, how certain things can piss you off, upset you, make you mad, because some things can be degrading. Some things, when children are children, and it is all the same that he could have went back to school and the kids are like, you got a trophy for being the most annoying, and he would have to listen, even though he's nonverbal, but he hear it all.
Exactly.
He hear it all. And his reactions after that effect can really bother him for the rest of his life. Hearing these kids laugh and talk about him because he got the most annoying award. Even if it was the end of the school year, he would have had, but he's not because his parents changed schools.
Right.
But he would have gone back next year, and these kids would have remembered that moment.
You don't let something like that go.
You don't let it go. And they would be, hey, last year, you got that, so I feel like a teacher, let me take it here. At the Cerebral Palsy Conference, when the parents, the caregivers were on the platform, a young lady from Suffolk, she's a substitute teacher there, she asked a question in reference to basically, how do you know how to handle certain or work with children with special needs?
I remember that.
She worked in the Suffolk Public Schools school system, and they put her in a special education department. Great question she had, because if you don't have the experience or education in dealing with a special needs individual, you won't know. Exactly. Thrown to the wolves in a situation or environment that you have no idea of how to handle an individual that's nonverbal, or individual that has cerebral palsy, or an individual that has autism, or spinal bifida, or Down syndrome, or whatever it is. If you don't have the knowledge or education to deal with an individual like that, you are clueless, and you can mess up. You can make wrong decisions, wrong judgment calls. You can do all of that. But then guess what? Who's at fault? That person.
Exactly.
The teacher. The substitute teacher. And the first thing they do is pull her to the side, probably want to fire her because she made a wrong decision or choice.
Right.
But nobody said anything to her or prep her or educate her.
To get her ready.
This teacher, no telling how long she was in the system, and that's a preparatory school.
Yeah.
They should have been on point with this thing.
See, and here's where, and this is why I brought Miss Winnie in on this. Okay, when you are a mother or a father of a disabled child, this affects you. This should have been stopped from the get-go before this was ever presented. Somebody should have had their right mind to turn around and say, wait a minute, we need to look at this. Do you realize what this is going to do to this child and this child's family? I don't. This should have never happened. It should have never gotten out. I mean, as far as and going back to what Miss Winnie was talking about, the school systems need to make people aware of what, whether it's in IEP, whether it's in written communication, whether it's in, that what these child's needs are and how they can be met. Because when you deal with a nonverbal person, it is going to be difficult to understand what they want because they can't express it verbally. So you have to look at their eyes, you have to look at their mannerisms. Am I right on that, Miss Winnie? It's 100 different ways that a nonverbal can communicate. I just go ahead, Miss Winnie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine, and you're right. Because you have to pay attention to the individual. They have different gestures that you have to pay attention to in any nonverbal individual, and that would be hard for a substitute teacher to come on board and really know, okay, well, what does that mean? What does this mean?
Exactly.
They're probably giving her gestures,
mm-hmm.
and she has no clue to what's happening
because she hasn't been exposed to it.
Right,
mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So in the school system, these people have to be very careful in their decisions and their choices that they make. That was publicly done at a annual luncheon that they had.
Exactly.
That means there were parents and teachers and students and all kinds of people that attend this event at the end of the year.
Exactly.
And so that was I could really understand the father being so blindsided by this incident and disappointed and pissed off, mad, and some more.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing he did and choice he made was to let it slide, leave it there. Hint, hint, I'm leaving this because I don't like that.
Exactly.
Leave this right here with you, and you're going to understand why. But yet, this teacher decides, oh no, he's going to take that with him because I want him to know that this is what I gave his son because he is annoying.
That's
what she meant.
That's exactly.
No joke.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a joking matter at all. She tried to play it off when she realized the father wasn't happy about it.
And now reading the rest of the article, and I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, this teacher or this person that did this was not at the graduation ceremony, which she should not have been. The child finished out the year and was all of this stuff happened. They didn't say whether they fired her or the individual or not, but they should, because when you take it upon yourself to that, because you know what this reminds me of, and to be honest, there are two words here that are going to stick with this child, as we've said, for the rest of his life: utter humiliation.
Yes. Utter
humiliation. It is not fair. Number one, he's got enough things to deal with because being autistic, their world is completely different. And autistic children only let certain people into their world because it's very guarded. And the hurt that this child must have felt. And being nonverbal, having to hold it in and not being able to express it verbally, and the physical harm that it could that this child could be caused with. That is, I wonder if that's something the school even took into account. When you have, and if you think about this, Miss Winnie, when you have a medical issue and you are concerned and you go to the doctor and you wait on tests and you go here and you go here and you see specialists, all these things that happen, your blood pressure, your sugar, your cholesterol level, your heart level, heart rate, all these things go up. And you continue to stress about what's going to happen. How is this going to work? Or your child, no less, how is my child going to go through this? Whether it's cancer or AIDS or a medical test that they're going through that you just don't know the answer to, and you're waiting for the doctors to let you know. This right here has the same impact on this child at the fact that he now is in his own world living with, am I really annoying? Is this how they feel about me? He may not be able to communicate that or to say that, but that may be how he feels. So did they even take in effect the emotional content? Yes, Elizabeth, exactly. That's the white coat syndrome. True. Oh my God. How do you deal with that? I cannot imagine how this child can go through the rest of his life and overcome this. And what happens to the school after this? Miss Winnie, where do you go from here with because if something happened to Kelly, she is not as verbal as a child that can express. She is verbal, but how do you deal with this now? Well, I mean, what do you think? Just
I can't say honestly that I would take Kelly out the school, but I would make sure that that situation is really taken into consideration, and she gets what she needs. He or she, reprimanded or whatever, reprimanded. I can't say necessarily that firing is a good answer. I think she needs teaching skills. I think she needs to learn. She needs to sit down in front of other parents and students that is verbal and hear their opinion on what she did. She needs to hear exactly what she did and be accountable for it. What bothered me a lot, what bothered me more so than anything was one, being caught off guard for it. You know, the parents being totally caught off guard.
They were blindsided. They were blindsided by it. Yeah.
Most oftentimes, parents are in the know of what their child is being awarded for. Evidently, this teacher did this purposely and did not allow the parents to know that their son was being awarded for that, because I'm sure if she would have said something, they would not have agreed with that.
Exactly. That's why at the very, when I started talking about this, and you said it as well, this should have been nipped in the bud at the beginning.
Yes.
Because it should not have, and being a preparatory school.
A preparatory school, yeah.
You have to realize the effect that this now carries with you with your organization.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, aren't you the same school that did that to that kid that had autism and you gave him the award for being most annoying? I don't want to bring my kid here.
Right.
I mean, that now carries the dark cloud over the school. And how do the students truly feel?
It's a sad thing because the trophy clearly states Bailey Preparatory Academy 2018-2019 most annoying male. Who in the world would want to take a trophy home like that? I don't find it to be a joke at all.
There's no way that this could be a joke. There's because this right here, what you've done, you've awarded this child for being the most annoying, and this is going to, this teacher now has made a representation of this child. I mean, how in your right mind can you be a teacher and not have a what do you call it when you know you've done something wrong? Conscience. Sorry.
Right.
How can you not have a good conscience about it and go, what have I done?
Right.
And now that you make that point, the firing is too good, because I know I said at the beginning of the broadcast I would have fired her. You may be right, because it may be that she needs, not only to hear the parents and students that are verbal, but what if this was her child?
Right.
You know, what if we turn it and we say, you know, what if your child was born with a disability that you know, he or she could not communicate verbally and only could communicate in the way that he or she could, and your child that tries their best and gives their all the time in the life that they lead. Now, I can't speak for this. They didn't even specify the child's name. How oh, Miss Winnie.
You know the sad part, when can you imagine this teacher announcing this, calling this young fellow's name out, and announcing this, and the whole audience just gets silent.
Exactly.
That man should tell the teacher something.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, did she really do this?
Did this just happen? Right.
And didn't say anything. But not only that, it don't even end there. It ends with you still decided to stop the parent at the end of the event and say, don't forget to take the award. Where was your mind? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like, where were you?
What was your mindset?
Did you hear the audience get quiet? You did this? Did you not understand that they were shocked that you did this, but yet you want to make sure the parent take it home? After he clearly left it on the table for you to just take it and do whatever you wanted with it. Oh no, I wouldn't be happy about that either. You know, especially you called the parent several times talking about the child won't do this, the child cried, the child acted up. Well, what kind of special ed teacher are you, and why are you in that position?
That is the question right there. And I waited for it because I knew you would hit it. There has to, we have talked about this. A matter of fact, at the Cerebral Palsy Conference, let me bring that back up. When we had the parents and the panel in front, I asked a question, and I remember, I said, there has to be a special kind of heart or a special kind of person to be a special education teacher. You have to have a heart that is open and full, because it is going to be, it is not easy. And I said, if you don't have the heart to work with the child, because you're not only going to work with a child, you're going to have an impact on this child. Everything you do is going to impact this child. And if you don't have the heart of gold and really want to work with him and help him succeed, don't do it. Don't do it. Exactly right, Ms. Winnie. Exactly right. I agree. What kind of special education teacher are you? So I will say this. I've got about 6 minutes. And I don't usually do this. But this is something that I'm going to say to the teacher that did this. I'm not even going to classify you as a teacher. To the person that did this, you need prayer first. Secondly, you need to evaluate yourself as an individual. Because for the rest of your life, you will now carry the dark shame of destroying a child. You had no right. You had no reason. And your school has no class. Because it should have been stopped from the get-go. From the beginning, it should have never happened. And I know that I was not involved in this, but to the parents of this child that have moved him to another school, may you succeed in everything you do, and I am deeply sorry for what you've gone through. I don't know your son's name, but he is precious in the eyes of God. And he will rise above this. I believe that. You see, I'm sitting here talking on Facebook Live and Let Go Radio on a platform that gives disabled people a chance to be heard. I brought Miss Winnie in on this because she knows what it's like to have a daughter that's disabled. She has gone through the pain and the hurt. I have gone through the pain and the hurt. My family has gone through the pain and the hurt. And I can say that if I would have had this opportunity 10 years ago, this is what the world needs. We need more organizations like this. If you have not gone to Kelly's Choice Inc., www.kellyschoiceinc. I believe it's .org, right? I think .org, Miss Winnie, if I got that right. Please go and visit this organization, look into it, and open your heart. Donate. If you can't donate, join us and be a part of this team. Miss Winnie has said hundreds of thousands of times in the broadcast, Lord, how mercy has she done some broadcasts. It takes a village. And we want to make this village big to where it becomes a worldly village. Not only the people in the United States, but the people all over the world who have disabilities that want to be heard and want to be on shows and want to make themselves known, to get the word out on. There are things we've never even seen. So yes, there are advances in medical technology. There are advances in doctors and lawyers and Medicaid and all these things that are happening. But sometimes you hit that stone wall. And when you hit that stone wall, it is a godsend to have an organization like this, that Edwina Wilson and Corey Wilson and Miss Kelly and the board members that we work with, myself. I am so honored to be a member of this organization, to reach the people that do have a voice but sometimes have trouble getting that voice out. Whether it's through, please do not be afraid because of your disability. I'm begging you. Please do not be afraid because of your disability. If you want a chance to be heard, contact Miss Winnie. Go on this site and look it up. It's worth every second. It could be the biggest change in your life that you ever make, because you have a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. Make sure that you attend our Kelly's Choice Cares launch and network mixer. That's coming up July 14th. I do want to mention that. I know our board members are getting it ready, and Miss Winnie is going through a lot to get that ready. So you guys keep supporting her, keep donating. If you haven't gone to the site, go. You can email the Sports Minion at thesportsminionradioshow at yahoo.com. You can catch my show every Wednesday at 2 o'clock and on live on letgoradio.net and on Facebook Live. I am so honored to do this show, and thank you guys for listening. I will definitely catch you next week. I'm also on YouTube, the Sports Minion Radio Show. At youtube.com. You can check it out and join me. I put my shows on YouTube as well. But please continue to help Miss Winnie. Please continue to support her, because Miss Winnie cannot do it by herself. It takes a village of people that are willing to work hard and be dedicated to the world around us. There are hundreds and thousands of disabled people, but disabled does not mean different. They just do things in a different way. Look, guys, remember to smile at someone every day, because you never know who you may bless. This is D to the J with a roll away. We'll see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday for the Sports Minion Radio Show. Thanks a lot. Take care, everybody.
I was trying to stop you.
I'm not off yet. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Wynn. What you got for me?
What I was going to do was I was going to bring Catherine on to do a quick.
Yeah.
Do a quick. What you call it? What I want to call it?
Promo.
Yeah.
Y'all stay with us. We're gonna get Miss Catherine in here. The Sports Minion Radio Show is going into extra innings. Y'all hold on. Y'all hold on. We ain't done yet. I thought we were done.
We good. I was trying to catch you real quick. I was texting her and typing you at the same time. We good, y'all. Sometimes it's like that.
You know, but that's the fun part, and this means so much, man. I can't even. Woo! Got me fired up, tears in my eyes already. I can't even. Wow. All right.
I know it's all right, DJ.
Just to let you guys know, as I'll be speaking at the Network Mixer as well, that's coming up July 14th. So if you guys want to come out and please join us, because I'm so thrilled to be part of this. I'm going to be talking about boundaries and breaking through barriers, just to kind of reiterate the speech that's going to happen on November the 16th, but we're going to be thrilled to do this. So we're going to bring Miss Catherine on, and she's going to promote the launch of the Network Mixer July 14th at 6212 Jefferson Avenue, and we're going to be glad to have her.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the flyers that we've been posting in reference to that. We have some really great people that's coming on board, that's doing in-kind donations. For their business, not only supporting Kelly's Choice, but support, in recognition of their business as well. And everything is exposure. So if you are a business owner and you live near and far to the Hampton Roads area, join us. Bring your business cards. You never know. Even if you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Northern Virginia, the DC, Maryland area, exposure is everything. You never know if you need someone to travel near and far. They might be at this event. If you want to connect with the disabled community or learn more, we will have several people there, individuals there from the disabled community speaking. DJ himself is one. We have Alexis. She's going to be doing spoken word, but she's really, really great at. She's a great writer and everything. Such a phenomenal young lady. All these individuals I've connected to really doing great things in the community. And I want people to really understand that don't be so ignorant to the disabled community. With them rolling around or walking because they have a slight different walk or they do different things different than we do. I think that's what the problem is to not have people be so ignorant to that.
Don't be afraid of it.
Word.
Yeah, that's so true. And you get to meet Miss Winnie. And once y'all meet Miss Winnie, y'all don't want to leave. Trust me. Once she gets that good laugh, once she gets that good belly laugh, and you make her laugh hard, you'll figure it out. Trust me. I love it.
Okay, Catherine is coming in, okay?
All righty. All right. We're going to bring Miss Catherine in just a second, guys. Bear with us as we end the show. We're going to bring a lovely lady on the Sports Minion Radio Show that's going to tell you more about the Network Mixer coming up July 14th. Woo, got me fired up, man. I'm hot. Y'all bear with us just a second as we get everything together. All right, Miss Winnie has mentioned this. If you guys, bring your business cards, because if you want to network with us and learn more about the disabled community, make sure that you guys come in and check us out.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I couldn't hear her when she tried to come on live that time, but she's calling in now. Okay, hold on. Catherine?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, thanks for allowing me to plug in. We have a phenomenal event that's coming up on July 14th. Sunday, Kelly's Choice Network Mix 2019. Of course, this is this awesome in collaboration with Let Go Radio. We have a phenomenal lineup of entrepreneurs that's going to be there that day. But also shedding light about the mission and the movement of Kelly's Choice. And so I just want to highlight two individuals. We do have a visual artist that's going to be with us. The name of his company is Aha Purpose Art Gallery. And he is going to actually be doing a live painting on the spot as the mixer is underway for those steps. And at the conclusion of the mixer, he will have a finale piece to present to everyone. So it's going to be awesome. I'm going to have an opportunity to talk to several business owners of which we have a young sister of Queens that's going to be hosting and facilitating some of her sweet treats. The name of her company is called Candy Sweet Dreams.
You got a little love. There you go.
She is absolutely going to have a beautiful arrangement put together, a food arrangement. So we're going to have some refreshments there that day. We give a shout out to Candy Sweet Dreams for being an in-kind sponsor for us. So where do you want to show up at? You want to come to Evolve 1, and they're located 6212 Jefferson Avenue, and that's Newport News, DA, and the zip is 23605. But I encourage everybody to check out some of the social media pages so you can learn a lot more about Kelly's Choice if you don't know already. You can go to Kelly's Choice Inc., Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But check out the website. The current website, we're going to be unveiling a new one in a little bit. But the current website is kellyschoiceinc.org. The event is on Sunday, July 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. We encourage every business owner that learn about this opportunity to plug in and bring someone else with you that's an entrepreneur as well. This is a network mixer along with learning more about the movement of Kelly's Choice. So if you have any questions, I'm helping to facilitate that event. I can be reached at 202-780-7301. Again, that's 202-780-7301. Again, plug in July 14th, 4 p.m. at the KC Network Summer Mixer 2019, 6212 Jefferson Avenue.
All right, Miss Catherine, we appreciate it. This is D to the J with a roll away. Y'all listen to Miss Catherine now. Come out and get some free food. Come out and get some good advice and network with a bunch of interesting people and just learn more about the community because we want to make this thing off the chain and make it bigger than it's ever been because you know how I do. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it because that's the way I roll. D to the J with a roll away saying we'll see you next week for the Sports Minion Radio Show at 2 p.m. 2 up. 2 down. Peace.
Hold on, my mouse acting funny.
I couldn't help it.